この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Vinland Saga episode 18. Before we go ahead and get on into this, I wrote out a stupid little thing, and so bear with me for a moment. This Sunday morning, for the hundreds in attendance and the millions of Vikings like you watching around the world on pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! It's the championship title match you've all been waiting for 2 weeks. The rematch of the century. In the red corner, your champion, undisputed king of the ring, wielding 2 gigantic great axes in his signature lawnmower fighting style, standing 7 feet 6 inches tall and weighing in at 397 pounds. It is Thorkel the Tall! In the blue corner, he might not have Thorkel's size, strength, experience, raw power, leadership capabilities, or any friends to speak of, but he makes up for it with sheer unadulterated anger, wielding 2 tiny toothpicks and a whole lot of edge. Standing 5 feet tall, weighing in at almost exactly 100 pounds, he can almost reach Thorkel's kneecap. Your challenger, it's Thorfinn the Moody! Boo! Okay, sorry. I thought of it and I had to do it. All right, so we got one big thing that's been set up for this episode, and I'm going to assume that it's going to take up the entirety of the episode. It's the big rematch. It's the big fight. It's Thorkel versus Thorfinn, Battle of the Thors, whatever you want to fucking call it. Big boy, little man, mouse, elephant, whatever. Yeah. That's the main thing that's happening here. We had some horse punching. We had some scaring the literal intelligence out of some people. We had a deal that was struck that should Thorfinn win, whatever that means. Is this a duel to the death? I don't know. Probably. Thorkel will give him a horse and let them both go. I trust him, actually. In the meantime, off on the side, we have like a side match going on between Bjorn, the berserker, and I think 6 or so other random people. Yeah, they're fucked. They are fucked. That's the whole thing. That's all we know about this episode going forward. Unless, of course, you've read the manga, in which case then you know everything going forward. But that's what we know about. It's gonna be a fight. The last fight between these two was pretty cool. Probably gonna get more pretty cool stuff in the new fight between these two. Let's watch it. Yeah, let's watch it. So, I have Vinland Saga episode 18 up and ready to go. It is at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there in the corner, linked down in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you want to sync up your own copy of the episode with the timer-based version up on YouTube, you're welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you right about now. Oh, we're straight into it, just like that, and that's the cut from the OP. Oh, straight into it. Okay. Better keep watching closely. True. I'm sure it will. Oh. You're gonna have to stab him in the neck or something. Oh, he afraid. Are they related? Did we know that? He's related to Helga? Desperately. But you're going to use that to bait him to fight you more. Because you just want to fight. This is dope. Respect. Look. OP. All right. Well, that was a hell of an intro. Just no lead into it. We're just going. Dope. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh, oh, that looked like it cut some hairs. Oh, he came back to kill you. Bjorn. Out of the cradle. The hair. That's really cool. I'm sure that was a panel. Oh. 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 Ragnar? In a vision? A dream? Yeah. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, and using the same musical motif. Not so much. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Hmm. You have to. Too much love. We don't get to choose. I thought he was gonna pass right through him. Damn. Further and further away. Can't hold on. Time to awaken. Time to accept your place in this world. Bjorn's still just beating people into pulp. Hey, there's that cut. Looks like more than 6. Who dat? Oh, hi, priest. I wonder who the winner will be. Bazaka. Hmm. Hmm. The contrast. That's amazing. Hmm. It's a hell of a question, buddy. And the fight still goes. Good fight. Cool way to transition back, too. He's spilling blood. They're both tired, yeah. We're gonna get that cut. Hey. Fucking tree trunks. What's that? Fair. Yep. Oh? Yeah, Thorkel? A real warrior. Yeah. Doesn't need a sword. Two parallel revelations. He's talking about Christ. And about individual death. Holy shit, priest bro. I'm not. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm not. Oh boy. Oh my god. Nick, Nick, Nick. Whoa. These backgrounds. Mmm. Original sin. Oh. Oh boy. Open your eyes. Oh boy. Hi, Birdie. Ow. Yeah. Ashelad's face. So, what the fuck? I don't know, man. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Bjorn. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. Chill. Is the priest about to die? And instantly, Canute becomes more masculine. His voice dropped a couple, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Time for you to wake. Hi, Bjorn. Warrior who doesn't need a sword, eh? And compassion for the enemy. We'll take it. Hi, Bjorn. Welcome back, buddy. Atlee, right? That's the first time we've heard his name, isn't it? And a leader is born, a king. Yeah, you have. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. All right. Woo! And it's over. Woo! I'm sorry for being almost silent through a big portion of that. I was enraptured, enthralled, whatever. Out of the cradle, indeed. Out of the cradle, indeed. Wow. So coming into this, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a relatively simple episode. We're just gonna have this big fight that's been set up between Thorfinn and Thorkel. It'll be a big old bombastic fighting episode, and that's what it's gonna be, right? No. Nope. Mm-mm. Hell, I would even say that the fight between Thorkel and Thorfinn is a side plot in this episode. It it functions more for contrast than anything else. I mean, it's cool. There are some cool cuts in it, and there's some cool stuff going on, and there are obviously some dope, scary Thorkel moments, and some dope Thorfinn being angry moments, and yada 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 yada. Whatever. But the focus of this episode is Canute. Canute awakening. That was so ridiculously well done. And in so many interesting ways. There's a big chunk of it that I won't claim to understand. The the whole speech about discrimination versus love and death into love. Like it makes sense on paper. I don't think that I'm like missing it, but I also don't feel like I can see through the eyes of the characters who clearly understand what each other are saying. And I think it would probably take me a lot of time to actually get it. Because I can get it. How do I explain? I can understand the words that they're saying without understanding all of the meaning behind them. Does that make sense? Like I understand on paper the idea that a dead person is no longer fighting, is becoming one with the earth, is becoming a part of, in their from their perspective, a part of God's creation, right? And is no longer tainted by sin, etc. Okay, I can get that on paper. And I can get on paper the idea that it wasn't love but discrimination that has been showered upon Canute, if you will. But the meaning behind that, I feel like it eludes me a little bit. I think more than anything else, this episode was full. I mean, overflowing with impactful scenes. This whole dream sequence with Ragnar is gorgeous and fucking awesome. Are you telling me to live alone in a world like this? I'm sorry, I failed you. Scenes and lines. And faces from Canute. Would have been so much better. It's time. The time for you to awake has come. The time for me to step away as your protector is here. Self-actualize. Become. I think my favorite thing in this episode is this specific scene right here, where they're talking so calmly and so casually, maybe 15 or 20 feet away from a life or death battle going on, as Bjorn just berserkers all over these people. The contrast, just delineated by like perspective, is so amazing, and that there's no like soundtrack in the background. They're just having this conversation, this conversation about like a revelation, an epiphany, enlightenment, the meaning of life, the meaning of love, while all of this is going on right next to them. Amazing. 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 I wonder, did we ever hear the priest's name before now? Willibald? I don't remember ever hearing that. We might have, and I could have just forgotten, and that's fair. But everyone that I can remember has just called him priest and been dismissive toward him. Canute calls him by name. There's some subtle stuff going on after he awakens. With his face and just general, like, the way his model has shifted, I think. It comes after the revelation. Also, the scenes of, like, decay and death over time and becoming one with the cycle are freaking gorgeous. All right, and then there's that, and then there's this, and then there's revelation, and then he weeps as he realizes, and this is so pretty. The sort of rainbow of scattered light around these clouds is so pretty. And the really light lens flare over here, that's cool. And then these cirrus clouds with cumulonimbus underneath. The sparkles of the snow. The tears. But then why? Why is there no love in the hearts of men? And the answer is there, the temptation, the apple, the greed. We see someone putting on a ring or taking it off. Yeah. Not the same ring. And then there's this face from Canute. Hard edges. The opposite of what we've seen him as up until this point. And then we cut back. We spread it all out. This kick is ridiculous. I'm not trying to knock the Thorfinn versus Thorkel fight. I think it's done pretty well, and I think it's pretty cool, but it's not at all the focus of the episode, which is not at all what I expected. And I'm really glad about that. I mean, it would have been a simple thing, writing-wise, to just do the fight and then do some, like, Canute stuff. Mishmashing them together? Ooh, baby. It also creates, like, how would I put it? it's not a temporal parallel. Yeah, it is. I would call it a temporal parallel. Because the cutting in between implies that both things are happening simultaneously, which I think that in universe they are. So Thorfinn fighting, following up on all of the things that he's been fighting for, and having a bit of a revelation, not a full one, not a full epiphany, but as Thorkel tells him that there's something that he lacks as a warrior and something that he lacks as well, that he hopes to have learned from Thor's. And I think the implication is that it's to fight without a sword. And now Canute has this other epiphany with a much more Christian religious tilt to it, and turns it into exactly that. Where all of these men fighting Bjorn failed, he stands firm against this raging berserker and embraces him and calms him. He embodies love, right? Unconditional. Same to Atli. Yeah, I think it's Atli. The one who remains. The brother who remains. He could have easily, after just calming Bjorn, and this guy runs up and stabs him in the gut, like, fuck you, Atli, gotten angry about it. But no, he just immediately turns to him and is like, stop it. Stop it. You're my vassal now. Let's go fight for something that's real. Whoa. Whoa. This is what I mean. The line that delineates the Adam's apple, the hard edges and harder shadows under his eyes, chin, give him a significantly more masculine appearance, specifically in that cut. His eyes have grown harder, and that's the thing that we focus on most, because they're his most defining feature. But he stands before this monster of a man and yells not at him, but at God, at Father in heaven, becoming angrier and angrier. I love this line. This man's soul cannot be saved through the trials you set for him. You haven't given us the tools that we need to achieve what you have set out for us. So I reject your path, and I'll create my own. Bad fucking ass, Canute. Bad fucking ass. I no longer seek your salvation. We will make paradise ourselves. And then he gets stabbed in the gut. Don't fight futile battles anymore. And he immediately snaps into the self that he's supposed to be. In charge, unfazed, ready. Now, I think that there's a valid complaint about this whole situation, and that's that I think you could say that Canute 180'd too quickly as a character. He went from, but all of that is sort of explained by the story, and all of that sort of like, it works, at least for me, from where I sit. Maybe because I've been through something similar. Maybe because I agree and believe that loss or a death can change you and change your perspective on everything like that. But it works. It works. There are things that you learn from a loss. That also gives a parallel to Thorfinn, but Thorfinn didn't learn from his loss. He learned something else. Or if he did learn, he tamped it down under rage and vengeance. I've been saying for a long time that I've been waiting for Canute to step up. And we've seen little glimmers of the possibility in some of his actions and some of his little speeches and little moments of actually being true to what he wants. The more I think about it, the better this setup seems to me. I love that Ragnar comes to him in a vision. I love that Ragnar states so clearly what he had done wrong as a parent. And at the same time, I can't entirely agree with the priest that it was just discrimination and not love. I think that the love that Ragnar had for Canute was very real, if not the best thing for Canute himself. But at the same time, I agree with the result of hardening yourself against that. Man, it's funny. Two days back to back where we've had two really massively character world view shaking episodes of two different shows that are airing right now. Yesterday being Beastars episode 6, which was, and this being Vinland Saga episode 18, which was, wow. Wow, 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 wow. I will teach you. I will give meaning to your battles. And some pretty classic capey wooshy things. And same thing with we had a sound effect when we do a close up on his eye and his eye opens. Ching, yeah, there's a. We JoJo's now. I mean, I can kid about it, but this was a fascinating episode, and there's so much that I'm not even scratching the surface on unpacking. I mean, Dream Ragnar just went way up my list of favorite characters, despite knowing that this is probably the last time we will ever see him again. Hell, I thought we were done seeing him up until now, but it makes sense for him to come to Canute in a vision. There are other things too, and I'm sure that there's a manga panel for this. When Canute is laying down, and he is saying that he wants to just remain unawake, sleeping, peaceful. But the world is moving around him. The fight is going on behind him. He has to step up. He has to wake up. I don't want to open my eyes. I don't want to see. I want to bury my head in the sand or the snow. And that's what Ragnar has been enabling him to do for all of his life up until now. Are you telling me to live alone in a world like this? We all live alone. All of us. We all have to learn to stand on our own, or we will fall as soon as those people around us who have been supporting us are gone, and they will go. Man, this was a good episode. And I think I will say straight up that the fight between Thorkel and Thorfinn, which was the thing that I was most excited for in this episode, was the thing that I cared least about in this episode. That's kind of cool. I feel like I've been bait and switched, and I'm happy about it. Come for the championship match. Stay for the other thing. Wow. That's writing. Who are you to my father? So I'm guessing he has some relationship to Helga? I feel like we found out about something on that front. He's like her cousin or something, which makes him like second cousins to Thorfinn. I I want to rewatch this episode. I'm not gonna do it on camera, but I want to rewatch this episode because I know that there is so much going on here that I did not catch. I don't know if they had extra time to refine any of the animation or refine the way that they wanted to present this stuff. I know that usually production schedule wise, a lot of this stuff gets decided months in advance. So I don't know if the extra week contributed to making this episode the way that it is, but gets nothing but interest from me. Had me wrapped. Wow. Okay, we're gonna have to see how this newly changed Canute goes and what this massive shift in, I mean, the potential power dynamics of all of the characters that we know does over the next few episodes. Like, Canute is now capable of commanding respect in a way that no character really has been able to up until now, except Tor's, originally. At least in my mind. I guess Ashalat has a kind of similar thing, but he's so schemy and conniving, and Thorkel is so brutish and straightforward. Canute's got a very different take on everything. So I'm going to be really curious to see what he does. He wants to go directly back, and I assume to parley with Thorkel. How will Thorfinn see him? Because one of the strongest and best established character dynamics in the show so far, besides like Thorfinn hates Ashalad, one of the best dynamics that we have is Thorfinn thinks Canute's a little bitch, and he's been right this whole time. He's been totally right. What's he gonna think when Canute walks up and is like, "Yeah, I'm in command now. Come follow me." I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels like a prophecy coming true. That's the way that this feels. We've known that Canute was destined for something else since we met him. And we have in the back of our minds this, I'll call it a prophecy from Torres, almost. This statement of his, this guiding statement that a true warrior doesn't need a sword. And now Canute, who I believe in none of the OP imagery, none of the other imagery has a weapon on him, is suddenly possibly the psychologically strongest character in the show after this revelation. That's neat. This is going to be a big shakeup of power dynamics. I'm excited for it. Okay, I think I'm running out of steam a little bit. Again, I want to rewatch this episode. I'm going to do that later today, I think. And I'll probably have a bunch of thoughts and be like, "Ah, darn, I wish I had said that in the reaction and discussion, but I didn't." And that's okay. That's just the way it goes. But for now, I'll just say that I really enjoyed this episode for absolutely not the reasons that I expected to really enjoy this episode. I came in for the hype, and I stayed for the somber, and it was really good. Yeah, let's wrap. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Vinland Saga episode 18. Yes, episode 18. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. If you have thoughts on anything in this episode, anything at all, direction stuff, I know I didn't go super deep into. There was a lot of good stuff. Too much good stuff. Specific, like, interpretations of some of these conversations, any mistranslations, whatever. Throw them in the comments. I'll read them. It'll be cool. Please don't spoil stuff that is to come. Thank you. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and I hope to catch you next week for episode 19, assuming that there's no more delay. I hope not. Yeah, hope to catch you there. Peace.